So what happens is that, and this is one of the things that I've noticed with my head shaking, is that the woke left, as they call it, and the MAGA right, which is the MAGA right, is now the hijacked alternative media, which is not alternative at all, really. They actually are mirrors of each other. The woke wants to impose its will on the population, and the MAGA want to impose its will on the population. And they fight among each other, but basically the same direction of travel goes on. And what this whole ban has done is highlight those people that don't just talk about freedom and fairness and justice, but actually mean it. And they're the ones that have seen the significance of someone being banned from almost the entirety of Europe. It's unprecedented. And not only that, as Christiana has said, the government has, lawyers have pointed out that unless I change my views, the ban will basically be indefinite. And the extension of the ban by 2 years, just a few months ago, is confirmation of that, because the reason they extended it was because I hadn't changed my views.
So please welcome with me for an almost unbelievable conversation, David Icke and Christiane van Wyk. Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you. And I want to start by saying Christine and I watched a movie. Christiane, it's a brilliant movie, but it's sad that it had to be made. You know, it's sad that we have to have this conversation. Maybe we can jump in and watch the trailer together.
Yes, okay.
Is that a good idea?
Nederland weigert de Britse complotdenker David Icke.
Ja, hij zou eigenlijk dit weekend komen spreken op het Museumplein in Amsterdam.
Gisteren kregen we te horen dat hun belangrijkste gast, complotdenker David Icke, het land niet in mag.
Nederland heeft eerder in het verleden haatpredikers geweerd. En ik zie Icke als een haatprediker.
Haatprediker, salafistische haatprediker, moeten we verhinderen dat ze naar Nederland komen.
Als hier wordt verwezen naar het verbod richting de jodenhater die ons land binnen wilde komen.
Erg jammer dat zo'n man zo'n platform krijgt op een plek als Amsterdam, überhaupt.
I'm Jeroen Pols.
My name is Willem Engel.
My name is Mordecai Crispijn.
Nobody needs to know what the game is and how it's played more than Jewish people, because they're being played as much as, if not more, than most.
What governments around the world are doing is misusing the legacy of the Jewish people as a weapon and a shield.
I don't care if you're Jewish or Christian or Muslim or Hindu. I don't care if you're black or brown or white or sky blue bloody pink. Just don't impose your beliefs on other people and you'll hear nothing from me.
Deze zaak komt ook voort uit de eigen keuze van meneer Icke om een aanjager van een, wat de minister betreft, verzonnen verhaal over een kwaadaardige elite die de mensen onderdrukt. Ja, hij kiest ervoor om dat gedachtegoed over de hele wereld te willen verspreiden.
Het moet niet zo zijn dat onze staatssecretaris de reikwijdte van de vrijheid van meningsuiting gaat bepalen.
De kunst om tegelijkertijd twee tegenstrijdige overtuigingen te accepteren of te geloven, zelfs als deze elkaar uitsluiten, zonder enige cognitieve dissonantie te ervaren. Dat noemde George Orwell in zijn roman 1984 Doublethink.
Wij hebben geen toestemming nodig om te spreken. Blijf je uitspreken.
So the idea to go to England was actually born because I was looking for a way to actually show that we cannot be stopped.
And I'm eternally grateful that you made the effort to come from all the different places that you came from.
Believe what you like, you are what you are. We're all an expression of the same consciousness in the end anyway.
Real freedom is control of your own perceptions and not letting someone else tell you what to believe.
David, it's been over 2 years, 2.5 years, I think, since you've been banned from the entirety, almost the entirety of Europe. You can't go to Australia. You can't come to the United States. You've never been charged with a crime. You've never been convicted of a crime. And those who have bothered to read one book or watch one show with you know that you are a champion for unity, for peace, for human consciousness on a human level. How is that for you to be so misrepresented and so misjudged?
I've got used to it, mate, because I've been misrepresented since 1990, endlessly and constantly. And you just get used to it. And all you can do is keep speaking your truth. And those who hear it will hear it, and those that won't will misrepresent you. And you make a good point there, because if people bothered to read my books, just one, they would see that their view of me is completely misguided. But of course, the people behind this ban in Europe are not interested in reality. They're not interested in the truth. They're not interested in who I really am. They're interested in banning me. And, you know, I've pondered on this, and I've just been talking on Zoom with my lawyers who've been fighting this case. And they are as confused as I am, I guess, on why the Dutch government would take this stand, which has increased my profile in the Netherlands, a demonization as it is, but has also made them look silly. And I think this film that Christiana's made will make them look utterly insane, because I was invited to speak at a peace rally in Amsterdam in 2022 for 20 minutes. And I was going through the Channel Tunnel and speaking and coming back. And that would have been the end of it. But for agreeing to do that, I'm now banned from nearly 30 countries in Europe, Australia before that. And it makes no sense that they would go to these lengths to stop me doing that. But of course, what they have done is stop me not only going to the Netherlands, but stop me going to virtually the entirety of Europe. And I don't know, there must be some reason, unless they are completely stupid, which I grant you is an option. Why are they so desperate to stop me walking onto mainland Europe? It's bizarre, the whole thing.
I have a theory.
You know, my next question would have been addressed to you, Christiana, but please go ahead. What is your theory?
So you've got people that are incredible researchers, and they've done years and years of research in what's going on in the world and, you know, the hidden agenda. And these people often don't look at the metaphysical side of things, or the spiritual side of things, or the side of consciousness. But then you also have these amazing spiritual teachers that really you can sit with them in a room and they can talk about all these amazing spiritual concepts. But I only know one person that actually brings the two together. And I think that's David, obviously, but I think that's what they're so afraid of, because they understand that the implications of what he says are not just on the projection of this world, but are also on what is causing this projection to exist.
I agree. And I would say that one of the biggest things probably is that his message has been, and David, I don't mean to talk about you as if you weren't there, but your message has been, it's not this party. It's not this party. It's not that party. It's not another person you vote for or someone else you give your power to. It's always been you, and you've been, for as long as I can remember, pointing people back to it. Christiana, I think what the movie has brilliantly done is told the story, of course, this insane story of keeping someone from going to speak at a peace rally. telling that story, but also telling the misconceptions and telling and showing, at the most important points of David's philosophy, if you will. Why did you feel now was the right time for this movie, and what do you hope
Well,
it will
the right
do in
time
the
was really because we were excited about the 2 years coming to an end, and already planning possible talks. Jamie was already planning possible talks in Europe. And then we got this really unexpected news of, no, they've decided to extend it for another 2 years, possibly even indefinitely, because he hasn't changed his thoughts. Now, when I heard that, I thought, okay, flabbergasted doesn't cover it at all. And over the years, I had been accumulating video material, and I had been filming David as well. And I had so much material. I thought, no, this is definitely the moment to create a film out of it. Now, I have an incredibly strong sense of justice that really drives me in my life. So I thought, oh, I can really channel that frustration into this film. And I've really enjoyed making it, because not only are we showing a record of what's happened over the years, but I also saw it as a great opportunity for people that are watching it to go, hey, what is he actually saying? When he's accused of anti-Semitism, what is he actually saying? Obviously he isn't an anti-Semite, but we go into detail in that. But we also go into detail about the whole reptilian concept that everyone is always laughing about and that he's been ridiculed about for so many years. So it's an opportunity to both show the records of what's happened, but also what is he actually really saying. So I am hoping, of course, that we're going to get swathes of people watching this. And, given that we are quite shadow banned in many ways, that we're kind of depending, I guess, on word of mouth of people that are going to watch it. And then they're going to say, oh, wow, you've got to watch it. And then it will do it by itself. Because if we have to rely on lots of exposure, then I don't think we're going to get that.
David, I've before this interview today, I did another scan of sort of the platforms of the news, the mainstream news and so-called alternative news. And what is noticeable that the mainstream did cover your ban, of course, with the typical buzzwords and misrepresentations. However, the alternative media, except for a few notable exceptions, didn't cover it at all. Does it shock you because of the implications? Because, whether people agree with you or not is not the point. It's a voice has been silenced, and a human being has been banned from entering almost the entirety of Europe for thinking the wrong way. And the alternative media does not make a big fuzz about it. What does that say?
Well, it says that what I'm saying is in many, many ways different to what they're saying. And that what I stand for, which is justice and fairness for all, irrespective of their belief system, irrespective of their income bracket, irrespective of any of these labels, fairness and justice for all, and freedom for all, freedom to express themselves, freedom of movement, etc. And what I've been highlighting now for must be 2 years is the way the alternative media has been hijacked by people who've come out of the mainstream and have been promoted by full-blown algorithmic support and financial support. And they've taken it over. They've taken over that central spotlight of the alternative media. And what they've done is regressed it. Large numbers of people in the alternative that I remember realize that we live in one-party states. They realize that it doesn't matter who you vote for, the government still gets in. The wings on the same bird and all that that we used to talk about. But what they've done is regressed it into the left-right puppet show So now they've created a big divide and rule by playing off the left against the right. And what I'm doing is saying they're both expressions of the same agenda. They just get there in a different way. And so what happens is that, and this is one of the things that I've noticed with my head shaking, is that the woke left, as they call it, and the MAGA right, which is the MAGA right is now the hijacked alternative media, which is not alternative at all, really. They actually are mirrors of each other. The woke wants to impose its will on the population, and the MAGA want to impose its will on the population. And they fight among each other, but basically the same direction of travel goes on. And what this whole ban has done is highlight those people that don't just talk about freedom and fairness and justice, but actually mean it. And they're the ones that have seen the significance of someone being banned from almost the entirety of Europe. It's unprecedented. And not only that, as Christiana has said, the government has, lawyers have pointed out that unless I change my views, the ban will basically be indefinite. And the extension of the ban by 2 years, just a few months ago, is confirmation of that, because the reason they extended it was because I hadn't changed my views. So you're looking at extraordinary extremes of censorship and the demolition of even the most basic freedoms. But you see, I don't support the MAGA, and I don't support the woke. I don't support Trump, and I don't support Harris. I didn't support Biden. I don't support Musk. And as a result, I am outside of their bubble. I'm outside of their narrative. And thus they really don't give a damn what happens to me, because I'm not one of them. And I think that's the basis of it. And also, of course, I'm calling them out. I'm saying, you know, you have regressed the perceptions of the alternative media back to the fault lines that I thought we passed a long time ago. And what you're doing is just getting to the same end, not least human fusion with AI, by a different route and with different rhetoric to the direction the wokers were going. You're actually not different at all. You're the same. And of course, they don't like it. But there you go. I've got children. I've got grandchildren. Everyone else who has children and grandchildren. And I don't want to see those kids. And indeed, you know, it's so close now, people in vast numbers already that are adults. I don't want to see them controlled in an AI hive mind dystopia and a society controlled by AI, the like of which we have never seen in known human history. It's still clear that we talk about AI and we talk about, oh, this AI, or could this happen with AI? We still haven't grasped the stunning level of dystopian society that AI is designed to run, control, and impose. And therefore, I'm not going to I'm not going to mess about when I call it out, because we don't have the time to mess about. We don't have the time to coax and go through the niceties, because we are looking this in the eye. We're looking this in the eye in the next few years up to 2030 and afterwards. And so I call them out vehemently because it's urgent, and they don't like it. So they don't care what I do and what happens to me.
And then they call, you must have seen that on social media, calling him, oh, you're just being negative nowadays. But if you're a prolific researcher, the caliber of David, you're basically researching 24/7, you come to certain conclusions, and you just share those conclusions of what you get. Now, if that's negative, then that's very unfortunate for the world, but that's the truth. So, I mean, it's either you do that or you go along with a flow of which you know where it's going to end.
How is this even possible? That, let's say, I'm going there tonight. I'm going there. The greatest mind of our generation is banned. Is banned from traveling. Which, hey, people. And why is he banned? We know that country you can't talk about. Don't criticize that country. Don't mention that country. No matter the genocide it pushes, no matter what it does, don't talk. Now it's legal. Now it's legal. I hear almost every commentator, every YouTuber, every podcaster criticizing that country now. Calling it its name blatantly. No restraint. But the great guy is still banned. Still banned. This is crazy. Crazy. So me need know all this is allowed to go on, people, and no one's talking about it. No one. That's why me can't trust nor even listen to these other so-called truthers and deep researchers. Why? They're so scared of this man. I know, we know still. We know people just asking questions, but it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical because we know the answers. We know the answers. We know why this man is just too powerful for this world, people. And it's sad, but it's the reality. It's the reality we're faced with.